Hey guys, welcome back. We are doing a real quick and simple and super easy, super high protein, low carb meal prep. This is going to be just for breakfast and lunch for the next 3 days. These are very simple recipes, just a handful of ingredients in each one and customizable for whatever it is that you're looking for as far as your flavor, your calorie content, your carb content. You can kind of add or subtract however you're going to see fit. But these are sample meals that I've been using for the last few weeks in order to really start seeing progress again and seeing the scale move and also overall feeling a little better. Lately, I have been focusing on higher protein meals, some lean proteins as opposed to focusing on fatty meats. And I've really been tracking all of my macros as far as really paying attention to ensure I'm getting enough protein and not overdoing it on fat and total calories. In general, because I have started lowering my fat, I am incorporating a few more carbs than I have in the last few years. I am still producing ketones, not a crazy amount, but I am still hovering around 0.4 to 0.5 ketones the majority of the time with the number of carbs I'm including. Most days I am anywhere between 20 and 40 carbs a day, so a little bit higher, but it's something that's working for me as I'm getting closer to my goal weight. Obviously, you can make those adjustments as needed to find what's going to work best for you. So we're going to roll on into it. Again, 3 days worth of meal prep. So we're going to do a breakfast that will cover me for 3 days and a lunch that'll cover me for 3 days. The dinners each night we're going to make and decide on as a family, but this is just something, breakfast that I can have before I head out the door to work every morning, and a lunch that I can take with me that's easy for me to consume while I'm at work, and I don't have to worry about trying to figure anything out or not having something on hand to go ahead and have a nice nutritious lunch. So let's go. All right, guys, first up are some little chia pudding yogurt bowls. For this, we're going to need some of the 0% Faya yogurt, some unsweetened nut milk of your choice. I'm just using the unsweetened vanilla because that's what I have. You also could use one of the other Fayas if you want a little higher fat. I'm going to be using some of the vanilla flavored skinny syrup to sweeten it, and then I've just got a little container of some chia seeds. So basically, I'm going to prep for 3 mornings to have this along with my next meal prep item. So each one is going to have a half cup of yogurt. I'm just measuring that out into each container so that I've got the full half cup for each one. And this way I'm able to track my macros for each day as well, since I've got it all measured out in there for each one specifically. And I'm trying to, I really need some more cooperative calorie. All right, so then I'm also doing a half a cup of almond milk in each one. Now you could also do, regular milk, I guess, if that's what you fancy, but this is just what I'm doing. I'm doing 2 pumps of the vanilla skinny syrup in each of these as well. And then I'm kind of giving them a little bit of a mix before I add the chia seeds in. I feel like they need just a little smidgy in there, a smidge mixed beforehand. Now this shows me putting in 1 tablespoon into each one, but I did go and add a 2nd tablespoon to each one to get the consistency that I really wanted. So after I added the 2nd in, it really made it the nice full type of texture, almost like tapioca. And I'm adding just a 1/4 cup of blueberries to each one as well. And those are actually from my parents' yard up in Virginia, little fresh frozen blueberries that they hooked me up with. And then I'm giving each one a little shaky shake and sticking them in the fridge. And there are your total macros. All right, next up are some egg bites. This is again for 3 days. So I've got a little 6-compartment silicone egg mold back here, and we're gonna go ahead and knock this out. 6 large eggs, 1/4 cup of feta, half a cup of cottage cheese, and then seasonings that you like. And I've got some red onions I've gotta use, so using those. So I throw 6 whole eggs into my blender, and then I'm gonna add in the feta, and then we're going to add in seasonings. I decided to use a little Cavender's. I don't know. It's just something I've been adding on pretty much everything. So I've got that. And then I've got the garlic powder. We're adding that half a cup of cottage cheese in there, and I'm going to go blend this all up until it's a nice creamy runny mixture. I just put this evenly in the 6 compartments, and then I'm taking the red onion, and all I'm going to do is just kind of put a couple of little slivers on top of each one. And let me tell you, I had these for breakfast this morning, and holy moly, I'm so glad I put onions on these. It made it absolutely just phenomenal. I was so excited about it. So here we are. I baked these at 375 for right at 20 minutes, and they came out absolutely perfect. And I'm pairing these with the little yogurt cups for my breakfast every morning. All right, now my lunch prep. I'm using these Gilbert's andouille sausages. I've been really using a lot of chicken sausages lately because they're high protein, but a lower calorie count total. So I'm using 6 sausages total. I've got 1 tablespoon of olive oil that I put in the pan there, and I've got it heating up, and I'm going to kind of cook through the sausages. These are fully cooked, so you actually could skip this step if you wanted, but I like to get them a little brown. Adding in the rest of that red onion that I needed to use up, and then 1 medium green bell pepper that I've kind of cut up into like bite-sized pieces. I'm going to let those kind of soften a little bit before I add in the broccoli slaw, just because, you know, they take a little bit longer to get tender. And then I add in the whole bag of broccoli slaw, which is technically 4 servings, but it comes out really great in this. And I use some Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning and some garlic powder in there as well, just to kind of flavor it a little bit more. And basically I just cooked this down until everything was, you know, nice and cooked through. You don't really have to do it that long with the broccoli slaw if you would prefer to have a little more crunch to it, but I do like it to be a little wilted personally, so I just cooked that down a little bit until it got nice and soft, and this really made like a lot. It's a really nice sized serving when this is divided into 3 containers. So I'm just using my little glass containers. I divided it equally between the 3 and figured out the macros for it. And basically I just put this in the larger compartment of each one. And that way I can bring this to work and heat them up each day and, you know, have a nice, really full, really filling, really high volume meal. I mean, this is really pretty substantial, honestly. So once I got all 3 of them, I decided to take an English cucumber and I just split it 3 ways and made it into like little slices to put into the second compartment. And I just pull those out and salt and pepper them to have separately before I heat up the rest of the lunch. So just kind of little chunks. They're perfect little snack. Also adding a little bit more volume for very, very few calories. And dude, cucumbers are like my favorite produce item like ever. Just favorite. They're so stinking amazing. So here we are. This is my lunch for the next 3 days and the macros. Oh my goodness. Hey guys. Okay, that's going to wrap up our meal prep. You're going to hear some nature sounds. My dogs are out here running around. I have some crows that are yelling at some hawks, and we have hawks galore that keep screaming at them. So I am thankful for all the birds, but they are a little noisy. I hope that kind of gave you a little bit of inspiration for a super quick and easy meal prep, not including the bake time. I mean, I finished both of those in about 30 minutes total, start to finish, to knock those 2 out. So I have breakfast and lunch. I had to devote very, very little time to it for the next 3 days. And of course you could double those batches and try and get some more days out of it as well. But 3 days, 30 minutes, not a whole lot of work, and like pretty inexpensive altogether, like not super spendy. So that was fantastic. I figured I would also go ahead and just let you know what my dinners are going to be for the next 3 days. One of those nights is going to be some lime and garlic tilapia with some fresh snap beans. The fresh snap beans that I have, like, they look beautiful, and I want to go ahead and use them now. I don't know about you. When you buy fresh, loose snap beans in a store and you just pop the ends off and then eat it like a snack raw, it is the best thing ever. It may be because I grew up with a garden. My parents grew snap beans the majority of the season that the garden was able to grow anything. And it was my job typically to snap beans. I would go out, pick a mess of beans, bring them in, snap the ends, snap the perfect little size, and my mom would yell at me. It's constantly like, are you snacking on them or are you snapping them for dinner, Karen Elizabeth? So that's where that came from. So anyway, another night this week is going to be some shrimp tacos. I have another bag of broccoli slaw that we're going to use as the topping for that in lieu of using lettuce. And then I'm going to make some lime crema, which is just going to be sour cream with some fresh lime zest, fresh lime juice, and some garlic and some salt. That's really all I do to make that lime crema anytime that I make shrimp tacos. And the way that I do the shrimp, I just peel them, cut them into kind of smaller bite-sized pieces, and saute those up with a little bit of olive oil and some seasonings, usually like some garlic salt, and that's about it. So shrimp tacos will be one night. You can do those either with egg life wraps, low carb wraps if that's your jam. You can make it almost like a salad if you'd prefer that. Or even romaine boats. I've done all of these things. I will probably be doing some romaine boats because I did pick up a nice, really, really pretty package of romaine hearts. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing. And then the third night is going to be Greek chicken gyros. For that, I am going to be using the La Banderita zero net carb street tacos instead of using like a pita bread for that. And it's basically some Greek seasoned chicken, and then some tzatziki, and then toppings, things like slivered red onions, cucumbers, maybe some feta cheese, that kind of thing on top of those as well. So those are going to be my dinners. As you can tell by looking at those, it's some lean proteins, adding in lots of nice high fiber veggies and things in there as well. And really, after we finish each of those, the breakfast and the lunches that I prepped, I'm still looking at having about 750 calories to devote to dinner. So in that way, I'm able to kind of have a nice, large, really filling meal, or have a smaller meal and maybe throw in like a protein coffee or something like that as well, in order to stay within my calorie deficit that I am hitting these days, which I hover anywhere between like 1,500 to 1,600 calories a day. And with that, I've been consistently dropping a little bit of weight a week and feeling fantastic. So it's nice to be in that deficit and start seeing results. I have basically been in like an 18-month stall, where I've been hovering between 172, 177 for the last year and a half. And things haven't been moving unless I do something extreme. And then it'll drop, to 169, 170 or something like that. And I'll feel like I'm seeing progress, but it's not a sustained progress. So what really finally has worked for me is really focusing on lean protein, focusing on protein in general and making that my priority, and adding back in the carbs that I am not scared of. I am not scared of carbs from yogurt or cottage cheese. I am not scared of carbs that come from a vegetable. I am not scared of including those things, where for so long I feel like I was kind of fear-mongered into avoiding every carb at all costs. And those things that come from real single ingredient foods, those don't scare me. And I'm feeling really good knowing that I can include those higher volume, high fiber foods that offer satiety and are not negatively affecting my blood glucose. In fact, it's actually been much better lately, and is helping me to still see results. My goal weight is 145 pounds. I'm currently at 158, down from the 173, 175 little window in there that I was at for a year and a half. So clearly I'm making progress and I'm not feeling deprived, and it's working. So this week I will film a couple of what I eat in a day videos as well to include for you guys, but this is the general meal prep and giving you kind of an idea of what my meal plan is looking like for the next few days. And hopefully that gives you some ideas, or at least an idea of what those meals can look like. Like I said, those can certainly be customized. You can add other things or subtract things as you need to in order to make those suit you and your goals a little bit better. So that's going to be that. I'm going to wrap her on up, and I will see you guys a little later in the week for a couple of what I eat in a day videos, maybe some vlogs or something like that as well. So I will see you soon.